everybody. I'm down on the floor praying for the world. No, I'm not. I am, but I'm not. I'm at my ZZ plant because Maggie has a really nice drinking water dish over there. I'll show you after. Stainless steel, nice lot of water in it. And the other day I noticed she was drinking out of the saucer where the ZZ plant drains. It was during when I was watering my orchids yesterday. And I thought, oh dear, you know, I don't like her to do that. And then plus, what do we know about a ZZ plant? A ZZ plant is very poisonous. Everything about this plant is poisonous. Now, I've never had it drop leaves on the floor or anything like that. And I've had no problem that way, but I don't like the idea of her drinking the water that goes through it. And none of my other plants are on the floor in the house. But I have seen her doing it in the greenhouse, and we have to get one of those little kids' pet doors and put it so that I can have the greenhouse open, but she can't go in there. And there's water all over the place, but she will go to this, and I don't want her doing that. So I was watering the orchids, and I thought, well, and this is another story, but Jack bought me one of these testers to see how good the water was. And I thought, and it has some colors here for average tap water, acceptable, or not, or really contaminant, right? So I thought, well, I'll test it. And I put this in the water that was in the tray, and it went to max, a dark reddy brown color on this thing. It went to max. So right away I'm trying to think of all these ways that I could stop her from doing that, because we want the dog and we want the plant. So I went on the internet, people put rocks in there and do all kinds of things, and I thought, well, I don't want to do that. So then I had this idea, because I put saran wrap. I thought, well, I'll put saran wrap over it. So right away I wrapped saran wrap around it. But I water this on the day I water my orchids. That's the only day I water it. And it gets leftover water from the orchids. So, and it's healthy, very healthy. And it got repotted in this urn. A couple years ago I did a video on it because it was so cramped, and this is just one of these kind of styrofoam plastic type urns I had outside, and I painted it. So it's staying in the house, and she won't leave it alone even if she has fresh water. So I had a bunch of this pretty heavy plastic, and so I thought, well, the saran wrap's a good idea. So I'll cut a circle, and I'll set it, and I cut the centers. Here I am doing this, and of course, I like to do something and I kind of wing it. I measure a little bit, but Jack comes out with all these fancy tools, and he's dying to go down and work on his bird, but he can't stand that I'm doing this. Anyway, I took his tools, but I didn't use all of them. But anyway, I got a big saucer so that I would get it round. I made it about an inch. I went around with that little sewing, you have it for sewing, and it measures things, and you can change it. It's just about that big. So I went around and added about an inch to this, and I thought better too big than too small. And then he had this gadget that I don't have it with me right now, but it just kind of squeezed the area to tell it how big it was. So he had this thing, it was shaped like a wishbone, and he tightened it, and he says, that's how big where you want it to sit is. So I did use that. And that's how we got the size of the hole in the middle. And then I just cut it like a tree skirt at Christmas time. So then I'm just gonna put that here around, and it fits perfect. It fits perfect. There we go. It hangs over a little bit, and I knew it would, so I'll show you a close-up after. But you can't get in there. And I could actually mark that with my felt pen, and I might, and make it just a little bit bigger than the edge, because I'll show you, because it fits good. So that's what I'm into today. And I was reading about how bad the water is for the pets, cats, dogs, whatever. So I thought, well, gee, I'll share that with you and how I solved my problem. And it will still look nice. So I was bailing it. I bailed most of the water out of it. And I thought, well, this is silly, just another job. So this will solve the problem, but I think I'll go around and mark just over where the pot sits. I'll show you in a minute. And that will be perfect. It's only pot I really, there we go. Huh. Okay, but just a minute. Where are you? Okay. And seeing I got you here, I want to show the orchids, because the dendrobiums are starting to open, one of them. And this window, everything's in pretty well full bloom. And yesterday, it was so nice. It went to like 50 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday, and I'm out in just a little jacket. And where my raspberries grow in the garden, the lawn's always growing in there, and I got all this weeds and grass, crabgrass growing up into the raspberries, into the garden. So I dug this hole along the fence line where I'm going to put that edging stuff down so that the lawn can't grow into the garden. It'll mean weeding the raspberries really good, and probably for a while, but I tried it down the other end and it seemed to work. So another job, but it was nice to get outside and do that. So this is just a quick video about that, and then I might as well show you, it snowed a bit last night. Holy smokes, that was a surprise. I'll show you her water dish. I'll give you a tour of the orchids, so we'll go do that. Okay, so, look at the height of this. I'm 5'4", and it's my height. It is tall. Well, of course, it's in a pot that's already a few feet high, but still, it's very big. They love indirect light. They'll take as much indirect light as they can get, but they do not want to be in the direct light. So see what I've done here? So you can see the plastic. I'm going to probably trim it just over the edge, and it will sit nicely there. It won't look terrible, and she won't be able, it's heavy enough plastic that she won't be able to pull it off or get in there. So thank goodness for that. But this is her water dish, and it was one of those fountains, and it bubbled. Oh, she didn't like the bubble, so now we took the fountain out of it and we just keep it. But it keeps clean, and it's good, and it was right there and full. Okay, let's look at the orchids. This one, I went and made all my butterflies the other day, and I called this one Burgundy Blush. Then I always know what color they are when they're not. Kind of a pretty color. This one's going to open there. called that one Burgundy Blush. Moon Glow, she was one of the first ones that started opening, but I noticed she lost one flower, but there's more coming also, so she's doing good. And I call these the twins. I have two of them. The other one is over here. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I'll stand back and get it with it all out in bloom. Just beautiful. Isn't it nice? You know, every year they do this for us. And I like these little hanging baskets. I can see, if I ever see them again, I'll be picking them up. And the little baby's got a little root coming out and one other little root, so hopefully being she didn't have any leaves and now she's got some. This has been quite a few weeks, maybe a month that one's been open. Okay, let me stand back and you can get a good view of the window. Yeah, so when I'm at my sink, that's what I get to see. It's kind of nice. Okay, let's go look at the dendrobiums. Okay, and this one's out. And the white ones. The one in the old heater. This is the one that I did a talk at the Salmon Arm Garden Club. And look at this one. Lots of, they're nice and big and healthy. And this one here. And there's lots of buds back here. Oops, back here. Lots of buds on this one. There's some more here. Yeah, so that's going to be nice. And then over here, these ones are not quite fully open. Maggie, don't you bark. But there's some more coming here. Huh? We gotta go check on her. See what's happening out there. What are you doing? Are you being good? Huh? Are you being good? It's yucky out there today. Yeah. Yeah, it went and did this and we were all through the snow and it's very, very wet. Very wet. So, just a quick hello and I'll go put this up for you. Bye now.